fantastic wrestler. He's got phenomenal striking. He just doesn't have to show it. But in Bobby Green, he has a matchup with a guy that honestly, RC is going to just fight him. Yeah. And Bobby Green ain't afraid of nobody. So if anybody's going to step up to this challenge, this scary person, it'll be King Bobby Green.
Listen, Bobby Green, one, has my utmost respect just in reading up on what he has to do just to cut weight for this fight. It seems to me as an outsider, that's very difficult. You know, to be in a position where you're 190, 195, and then have to get down for a fight with a guy like Islam. It's not like he's going to be stepping into the octagon with some slap. This guy is top 5. Many people believe could be the next champion in his weight class. And Bobby Green is stepping in there after just finishing a fight. But I listened to you talk to Islam, and you spoke a little bit about Bobby Green's style. Also the skill level. Do you think this will be a tough matchup for Islam, or is it like many of the other fight where he just kind of imposes his will on his opponent and fights the fight on his terms?
You know what's crazy, Ryan? Like, when I think about Islam Makhachev and his fight against Bobby Green, I think about two things. One, the style obviously would be an issue for Bobby because of the wrestling. But because the fight is contested at 160, I believe, now Islam doesn't have to pull those last 5 pounds off. That is usually where he struggles the most with the weight cut. So he'll feel a little bit more refreshed. The moment that the fight was announced, I'm talking to Habib, and Habib texts me and goes, brother, 5 extra pounds. This is crazy. Like, everybody knows 1 extra pound, you know how good you feel when you don't have to suck that last bit of weight off. So I imagine that he'll be stronger going into the octagon on Saturday. He'll feel more refreshed going into the octagon on Saturday. And when you just look at the matchup style-wise, it seems as though it's a difficult fight for Bobby Green. But as Bobby has shown on so many occasions, it don't matter. Like, you know, when he fought Fazeev, he lost, right? But it was an absolute barn burner. He goes and he starts his ally Quinta in New York City on Al's home turf. Then the fight that he just had in Houston against, I can't remember the kid's name, from Canada, really talented. What's his name?
I said I'd say it, but I'd mispronounce it.
Yeah, but it don't matter. Just say it. Say his name. I don't know. I can't remember the kid's name right now. But talented kid, but Bobby just outclassed him. So he shows on so many occasions that he can do so much more than people expect him to do. But look, you heard what Islam said just now when we said Bobby has a background in wrestling. And Bobby was a high school level wrestler. Islam goes, who said that? And he almost is dismissive of Bobby in that realm of the fight. And if he's dismissive, man, he'll be more confident in attacking his takedowns, which makes him more dangerous.
Well, I mean, even with being submissive, and we watch what Bobby was able to do against Nasrat in his last fight, right?
Nasrat. There you go. Hey, that was good too. That's his name. Haq Paraz. Nasrat Haq Paraz.
Hey, I wasn't going to try to say the last name, bro. and so like you see some of those things. You know, I was talking to one of my best friends yesterday, and we were actually speaking about you, and we were watching fights at the time, and I was saying, like, I would never try any of you. You know, if a dude's fighting at 125, like, I'm not trying to fight Davison Figueiredo. Like, I know I don't have a win. Where is Bobby Green's win against Islam? Where does he find a way to get in, and where do you think he can, I guess, pull the upset?
You know, I would love to get a hold of the odds for this fight. Right? Because I think in the odds, we learn a lot. And I know that, I mean, we saw with Juliana Pena, she was plus 800 and she beat Amanda Nunes. But very rarely does someone overcome steep odds, especially steep odds in what I expect Bobby Green to be facing. So when if I am tasked with finding a path to victory for Bobby, it's obviously defend a takedown. You got to defend a takedown first and foremost. You got to be in phenomenal shape. We know Bobby can fight when he's relaxed, because when he's relaxed, he's flowing, right? He kind of rolls his shoulders like Floyd. A lot of the big old-time boxers. Bobby's plus 500, plus 550 right now. Islam's minus 800. The last time I was minus 800 was against Dan Henderson. And look at how the fight looked between the two of us, right? So it's like you have to take into account what he has in front of him. But it's keep the fight standing, but keep the fight contested within boxing range, because Islam can kick. Islam can strike with the hands, but he isn't as clean as Bobby Green when it comes to just straight boxing. So he's got to make the fight more of a boxing match if he really wants a chance. The problem with the boxing range, RC, is that when you're in boxing range, you're in wrestling range.
You get taken
right?
down,
So you're close if you're fighting with just the hands. So if I had to pick a path, I would say that it would be in the boxing range. But unfortunately, in that boxing range is where Makhachev can get to him and use his combat sambo background wrestling to get him to the ground.
Yeah, I think everybody was really excited, at least on my end. I was excited for the high-end matchup with Beneil Dairush, right? We've seen Beneil, especially in his latter fights, in the later fights, really dominate people with his grappling, with his wrestling. And we obviously know what Islam has been, especially throughout this 9-fight run, where he really has been dominant in using his principles and using his style in beating fighters. And so I think everyone was excited about that. A guy like Bobby Green, to me, DC, this feels like a no-lose situation.
Yeah.
Right? You're coming off of a fight where you dominated, right? And you dominated in impressive fashion, in explosive fashion, in between rounds, barely breathing hard, hands down the entire time, picking your opponent apart. That's not what anybody is going to expect from this fight, nor would anyone expect him to win. And so whether he makes this fight competitive, whether this goes to a decision, or if he wins, I feel like it puts him in a great position. For Islam, does it take a dominant win for him to have the matchup with the winner of Oliveira Gaethje, or does he have to have another fight no matter what to get that opportunity?
You know, when you were speaking about Bobby RC, it's house money, right? Anybody that's ever spent any time in Vegas, anytime you've ever spent time in anybody that's gambled even a little bit, the time you make the most is when you're done using your money and you're just playing against them again with the money that you've won. It's easy. It's less stress. Bobby's playing with house money this weekend. He can go out there and in a situation where he's expected to get beat, go out there and be free. The most dangerous fighter is a free fighter. When a fighter's free, when you're free and your back's not against the wall, you can do things that are unimaginable. Bobby has to do an unimaginable thing this weekend if he wants to beat Islam Makhachev, just like we saw with Juliana Pena. And also, I mean, Matt Serra when he beat George St. Pierre going all the way back in so many big upsets. Now for Islam, the title shot was at least going to be guaranteed. Now, I will tell you this, a bit of inside baseball. Islam wins in dominant fashion, but at times it can take a while for him to get to his destination. And that is not always the most exciting and thrilling way to view a guy that you want holding the championship. Now, Khabib had that same type of reputation for a long time. And then he started to beat guys a little bit more dominantly. And then he fought Conor McGregor. And when he fought Conor McGregor, it elevated him to the next level. Who's going to be that guy for Islam that almost makes him shed that label of a guy that has to wear you down over time in order to get to where he's going? I think an explosive performance this weekend, another fight in which he dominates like he did Dan Hooker. 1 round, 2 rounds, exciting from the start. Then I believe he goes to Abu Dhabi, like he said. He's pushing hard for that, right? The Middle East is massive for these Russian fighters that are Muslim. And Khabib was a massive star over there, and Islam is trying to follow in those footsteps. So I believe that if he dominates, he goes into Ramadan later in the spring into the summer, and then after that, he goes right to Abu Dhabi, and I think he fights the winner for the championship. But I do believe he needs to look impressive on Saturday.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.